My name is Noah Whitaker, and at 17, I ran an underground knife market from my dad's garage. What started as cash for cool gear turned darker when Mason Blair showed up quiet, twitchy, and offering triple for a custom blade. I hesitated. Something felt off. But greed won. I took the order. I didn't know the forged knife would carry more than edge. It would be the start of everything unraveling, and the last time I'd call myself innocent. Mason returned a week later, his eyes shining like someone who's found religion. He slipped the blade from its wrap polished steel, handle engraved with symbols he requested. It's perfect, he whispered. My dad, Gregory, glanced at us, proud of my client list. In not knowing the truth, Mason clutched the knife like a lifeline. I told myself it was just a sale. But when he said, "This'll make them pay," my stomach twisted. That knife wasn't for collecting, it was for something else. I tried to warn Mason off, suggesting he was scaring people. He smiled and said good. That night, I flashed back to when he first approached me, sweaty palms, eyes darting. I thought he was nervous, now I saw obsession. I remembered how he flinched when mentioning a teacher's name. That's who he was targeting. I started to panic, but it was already too late. The knife was gone. The next morning, Mason didn't show up to class. But in third period, chaos erupted. Screams, a slammed door, and Mason, storming in with the knife raised. Students scattered. He shouted, "He ruined my life," as he lunged toward Mr. Dalton. I stood frozen. This wasn't a robbery or a prank, it was vengeance. And I had forged the weapon that made it possible. My hands shook. Security dragged Mason away, blood on his shirt, not his own. Mr. Dalton screamed, clutching his arm. I stared at the blade, now tagged as evidence. That handle, those symbols, I'd carved them. My dad saw the news and recognized my work. "Noah," he asked, "did you?" I lied, said it wasn't mine. His face fell. That was the first time I saw disappointment deeper than anger. The twist: Mason never planned to use the knife on Mr. Dalton. His real target was another student who backed out last second. Dalton just got in the way. The police quietly shifted blame, calling it a mental health crisis. No charges for me, no lawsuit, just whispers and stares. I thought justice would come. Instead, it was silent, sharp, cold, and endless. The knife did more than cut. It erased truth. My dad stopped forging blades. I quit selling. Mason was institutionalized. But the guilt stayed. Every time someone looked at me, I saw judgment. Mason's words haunted me: make them pay. I had helped him do that. No apologies could undo it. I walked away from steel forever, not from fear, from responsibility. Gregory never brought it up again, but we stopped speaking for weeks. I deleted every knife photo, shut down the site. People whispered, but no one confronted me. That silence, legal, social, emotional, was its own sentence. I'd made profit my purpose. Now I understood the cost. Some knives never rust, but their scars remain forever.